Hello, welcome to the Claret and Blue podcast. I'm back. Matt, did you miss me? It's only one episode.
You're telling me off air a minute ago how knackered you were, and then you come bursting back onto the
Game
scene
face. Yeah, you just got me ready, haven't you?
like Tigger from Winnie the Pooh, just bouncing back into the screen. I was going to make some crap gag about we played Young Boys tonight, but you're no longer a young boy because you've ticked over into the big 3-0. But then you kind of come bouncing in like a little joyful toddler. So many happy returns for yesterday. How's it like? What's it like being an old man?
Same as it was the day before. Knee still hurt, back still hurts, neck still hurts. Just standard stuff, isn't it? Yeah, it feels good. 30 now, 29 a few days ago. Basically the same. I'm back now. We missed the post match. How was the post? I've not listened to it. To be fair, we were kind of expecting chaos. So the post Leeds Q&A / hybrid video that you and John hosted together. Who was the host, by the way? Who said the hello, welcome to the show? How did that go down?
I think we said that. I think we decided that John was the host for the most, and I was the guest who was the best, or something.
Okay,
something like that. So we got it together anyway. He didn't have a phone call from Bill Gates or somebody saying we've broken the internet or anything like that.
No, good. No, everything, as far as I'm aware, everything went swimmingly. And there was a Claret and Brew that went out on Wednesday. Get some promo in early doors that we pre-recorded last week, which is a perfect segue into today's show. One of my hates in football, Aston Villa or otherwise, is we don't want to see scenes like that from TV directors. Show us the young boys fans fighting and stuff. I didn't see it. I didn't go tonight. Obviously, I've been away. I got back. I hadn't planned to go anyway because I didn't buy the bundle. Yada, yada, yada. No one cares. So I watched on TV, and as all that madness was unfolding, and to be fair, we don't want to see fans fighting police. That shouldn't be happening anyway. It's absolutely idiotic. But for the TV audience, I don't know what happened. What happened?
Listen, if you want to see what's happening inside the stadium, mate, you've got to be inside the stadium. Take your money, pay your money.
Not good enough.
Yeah, it's funny because you saying that, and I knew you were going to reference it as being one of your hates, like TV producers cutting away from things that, is there any harm in anybody?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it may be a legal thing that they can't show people doing things they shouldn't be doing, maybe.
Yeah, but if there's a fight on the pitch,
the
players. Anyway, yes, but one of my likes was
in the stadium to see it
a couple of weeks ago was the taunting.
Yeah.
The taunting of fans. So obviously the Villa fans, wouldn't say took great delight in it, but after those kind of ugly fisticuffy scenes, just Villa fans just spent most of the match just giving them loads of gentle verbal stick basically. So that was quite amusing.
Do you think that's what it needed to light the fire under a 5:45 kickoff?
It's funny, the 5:45. I'm not a fan of it because I'm not back as early as I thought I'd be.
No, we're doing this at 9:30 still. It still feels quite late. I mean, late for me at least. Anyway, I've been up God knows how many hours.
Yeah, so I looked like early in the second half or whenever it was, and it was just 7:15, and it did feel like midnight at that stage. But it's just a logistical nightmare just trying to get across town in Russia.
Russia, yeah, of course, yeah.
And I've got I'm not sure whether this will go down well with people, but I've decided that football food, I'm a boring old man. I would rather have a meal deal on the way in, like I did tonight. I stopped at the big Tesco on the island.
Hold on a minute. There's a comment from Timothy said, missed the whole game, so looking forward to this more than normal. I don't think we're going to talk about the game. If you don't know the score, this isn't the podcast for you. I want to know about the meal deal. I want to know what football food you didn't go for. What's the situation? Is that a price thing or is it a quality thing? What's going on here?
My son had a burger. We were right bang on against deadline, so we had to get up, get in, park up, get to the ground, get in as soon as possible. We were in about 30 seconds before it kicked off, so we were tight against deadline. Wow. But my son wanted a burger from Smoky Joe's, cheeseburger, onions, £7 nowadays. I just had a chicken club sandwich from Tesco, a bag of McCoy's, what are they, barbecue, their beef or whatever?
Steak, flame grilled steak, is it?
Yeah. Steak McCoy's and a Snickers double duo, whatever they are.
No drink?
I didn't have a drink, mate, no, because I thought I wouldn't have too many time. I'd have to go for a wee, and I wanted to get in the ground. So that come to about £5, £5.20, and I enjoyed that much more than I would have done if I'd have had the burger. I know it's a boring choice, but I just think in terms of value.
The biggest surprise is that was a £5. I remember when meal deals used to be £3 back when I was a 29-year-old. Times have changed.
You're playing the part perfectly, mate. You just got to get a
Thanks.
little bit grislier and a little bit bolder, but you're well on your way to both.
Absolutely, yeah. I
You
wonder
talk football?
whether the year, my 31st year on this planet, is the one that I choose to shave my hair off. Might be. Stay tuned to find out. Yeah, let's talk football a little bit. Villa have won their 7th home game in a row across all competitions, which is fantastic. We speak a lot about Fortress Villa Park and this expectation that you're just going to win. Now, young boys aren't at the level. We said this beforehand, this opportunity that Villa have to win more football matches. Young boys in the Europa League aren't very good. And without, you've jinxed it, Wolves in the Premier League aren't very good. This is an opportunity for Villa to take lots of points in the Premier League and the Europa League, fire themselves up both tables, win consecutive games in a row. A good time will be had by everybody. I didn't go into this with any kind of jeopardy that Villa wouldn't win the game. Now, whether the game was exciting or flashy or whatever, probably not. Should we have won by more goals? Yeah, but it's one of those ones that you just show up, you do your job and get out of there and you win the game with minimal fuss, and Villa won't have exerted too much energy into that game. We've got no injuries. It's just you've gone through the motions and got the positive result out of it. I mean, Daniel Marlin's got an injury to his head. We'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah, it was standard fare in the end. I think you say there wasn't any jeopardy. There wasn't really, but
yeah,
we shouldn't be worrying that in injury time that they're gonna the game should have been put to bed by then.
Agreed. Yeah. But both offsides were tight. To be fair, the one that was given was just about on. The one that wasn't was just about off. So, in some senses, we've got away with that. But I don't know. I always wonder whether with an Emery side that if you do have that fear of they get it back into this, do we then just go up another level anyway?
Possibly, but I don't really like to take that, to have that gamble really. And if you think about it, the 2 times that they scored, both borderline offside, one given, one not. The only real times that they really threatened, that was the worry for me. That the couple of times that they decided to be a bit more adventurous and have a go at us, they managed to pick us apart, and both goals were quality goals as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I did fear the first one because that had come a little bit earlier, and I thought it might have made it more nervy than it was. But
yeah,
we had probably, I wouldn't say there were kind of gilt-edged chances, but we probably had 3 or 4 decent chances. Yeah,
started the game really well with a few chances that, again, the quality of them can be up for debate, but you felt in the first 12, 15 minutes that Villa have gone through here a fair few times and will score at some point and probably score a couple. It should have been a game that was 4-0 Villa, 4-1. I expected us to score more goals than we did, and that's one thing that frustrates me a little bit with Emery and with this Villa, that we don't kill teams. And we've spoken about this plenty over the time that he's been here. Ultimately, I don't want this to be a moan on a Thursday evening. We've won the game and we're second, I think, in the league phase. 12 points out of however many it is available. We're doing very well, and that's great. But we want Villa to blow teams away. Like, this shouldn't have been a 2-1 nervy ending. It should have been a 5-0. I want us to go and kind of demolish a team. We don't really ever do that in terms of the scoreline.
Yeah, I think it's one of those, though, Dan, where...
Beat Bournemouth 4-0 a few weeks ago, of course.
Yeah, I think it was one of those where complacency probably does creep in a little bit because, like you said, they probably knew that they got a couple of gears to go up. But for some better finishing, a little bit more luck, we'd have killed the game off anyway. So I just like the fact that, from the start of the season, when we're all fearing the worst, we've developed some really, really positive momentum now. And I suppose Marlon was the man today. I think he was the man on Sunday as well in terms of transforming the game. I know Rodgers got the plaudits because he was the one who scored 2 brilliant goals. But Marlon, maybe Emery was onto something last year by keeping him on a tight leash and keeping him frustrated. I mean, I've said before, we'd have probably won the Champions League if he'd have been in the squad. But he's starting to show now. I wasn't convinced, initially, but I think he's got there seems to be a kind of almost like a real understated desire and drive about him.
There was some quotes from Emery tonight that he wasn't quite fit. I haven't read the whole kind of context. I saw a tweet from John that said something like a month ago he was asking to come off because he wasn't ready. Now he is. He's shown signs that he's getting there, and I think that probably is a factor as well. That it does take time. Just quickly, let's flash up if I can do it for the YouTube version, the league phase league table. I'm just searching this Europa League phase. It's such a clunky way of doing it. We're now down to third because of goal difference. The reason for why you should go for games and try and make as much advantage as you can, because Lyon are beating whoever they're playing 6-0. They're top of the league phase on 12 points. Midtjylland 12, Villa 12, Freiburg, Real Betis, and Ferenevent 11. So Villa doing well. Good to see. Keep winning in this thing. Finish as high as you can, and that's the aim of the game, isn't it? It's not like the Champions League where it's just about scraping into the top 8. Villa, and I think Emery said they want to finish top of this.
What was the name of the team in 6th again, Dan? I didn't quite get it.
It's gone off the screen now, I don't know. Fenerbahce?
Like into the fur.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were criticising my pronunciation. I didn't even get the starting letter correct.
No, you got the starting letter correct. What was the question in there somewhere? What were you?
Just Europa League's good, isn't it? Winning games, fun, good times.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, I don't like it as much as the Champions League. You know, I'm not going to lie.
But you like it more than the Conference League?
Call me spoiled, call me privileged. Yeah, I like it more than playing in the Championship as well, halfway down. So you know, it's levels. Now we're in a good place at the moment. I thought the 5:30 killed it in terms of, you know, Villa Park. I'm not sure Villa Park would have been packed to the rafters anyway, but Villa Park was sparsely populated because, you know, it's a bit of a pain in the arse to get there when people have jobs and work and other commitments. But I suppose a little bit of argy-bargy in their way and gave it a little bit of edge. I'm not condoning that. And I mean, do you want to talk about that bit now?
Yeah, might as well. What, the actual incident of throwing stuff or the goal?
Well, the goal sparked it. You know, I mean, how dare Villa? Villa upset the opposition fans by scoring a goal? I thought Tielemans was good today.
The one it didn't lead to anything, but Tielemans took a touch and pinged the ball round the corner for Gesson, who just kind of ran into a blind alley and nothing came of it. But that little moment, like, he's so good, any Tielemans.
I'm just trying to think of a word, not swashbuckling. He's like purring when he's like that. You know, he's just so technically brilliant, and he just does it. He makes it look absolutely effortless. He just, you know, I don't think I've said this before. When we signed him, I didn't realise quite what a player we were getting. But
agreed,
he impresses me and then steps up a level and does something better. Yeah, every time I see him.
I've always liked him, but what I associate with him as like a highlights player of not watching him all the time was, he scores the odd banger here and there, and he's a good footballer at Premier League level. But I didn't realise like how technically excellent he really is.
Yeah, but he's like the kind of conductor of the orchestra, isn't he? You know, he kind of plays the game at his own pace. But yes, I thought he was class tonight. Just the way he uses the ball, and the way he finds space and creates space. But yeah, the cross that he put over, I think he clipped one in earlier that I think Anana bundled just over or wide. But the way he's done it, a lovely, beautifully clipped cross for Marlon and a little deft header.
Yeah, nice.
And then kind of, I wouldn't say all hell broke loose, but kind of pandemonium ensued. I mean, I don't know what hit him. Was it a cup?
I think it was a plastic cup. Yeah, they didn't really show replays of it. To be honest, I thought because they showed it a few close-ups and they were kind of, I think he's got a cut somewhere, and it was like a replay before clearly showed it. He had blood and he wiped it. And it's like, it's bleeding. And then the following replay looked like a cup, a plastic cup, which must have come on a really like specific angle to cause an actual cut. Because I just assume, you know, Harry Redknapp, Phil Sharp, that those kind of things are coins, right? You know,
where are they getting these cups from? Are they serving drinks?
No, YN must have. Yeah. Like maybe it was one of those, you know, the plastic cups that you're supposed to send back to recycle because they're harder, aren't they? Maybe it was the edge of one of them rather than like a squidgy soft plastic cup.
Well, they've all got them.
Well, I don't know.
Almost like a kind of pre-arranged. I mean, I'm not for legal reasons. I'm not saying this was the case, but like a pre-arranged ambush. They got, like, you know, there's about 50 of them flew through.
I know. When we said before, we don't like to see that in the game. in terms of the TV broadcast, I want to watch. I want to know what's going on, but fans shouldn't be behaving like that. It's terrible. I don't. You know, and you see sometimes pictures of fans like really shouting at players or in videos, and they're like really like proper angry. I just don't really understand that full stop. But you've conceded a goal. At least in my opinion, you should not be coming to Villa Park expecting to get anything, whoever you are, never mind young boys. So you've conceded, you've gone 1-0 down in whatever minute it was. And the player who is not offensive in any way, like little bald Daniel Marlon, he's cute, and no harm meant, no offence. He's not John Duran, is he? He's not
You're not saying that they should have done it to John Duran.
No. But like you've taken offence at Daniel Marlon. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, come on. He scored a goal. He hasn't goaded you. He's celebrated in that direction. You've gone crazy. Like, that shouldn't be the response you get. It should be like, oh, we've conceded, but I thought we'd probably lose anyway. What are you throwing stuff for? It's embarrassing. Grow up.
Yeah, but the thing is as well, how do you think you're going to get away
Well, yeah.
with it
but they're
when
not fighting the police and stuff as well. Like, that's mad, isn't it?
You're in a stadium that is going to have, hundreds of camera angles. It's live on TV.
Yeah.
You've got broadcasters from around the world filming it. You've got the CCTV and the police control unit who have got an angle could hone in on absolutely anybody.
Yeah. But then, like, the level above that are like ripping seats out and throwing them. Like, what possesses you to do that? Or like when you see, and I'm not suggesting this, but other clubs, fans go into stadiums and like absolutely destroying the toilets and stuff and breaking sinks and cubicles. Like, what are you doing there? What have you gone to the football for? To watch the football or to have a fight? Like, what's in it for you?
Yeah, and I think what happened was, a couple of them were I don't know, acting up, I suppose, and then the police. There wasn't much of a police presence there before all the missiles and stuff started coming onto the pitch, and then the police swarmed around the away end, and then I think that antagonised them further. So then more of their fans got involved, and it was just a little bit. It was just pathetic, really. I'm not really sure. I can't remember the last time I'd have seen like fighting within a stadium like that. It'd be many years ago. I mean, the last time we saw proper aggro, I think, was when we played West Brom in the semi-final, and I think they got the upper tier in the north stand, and I think there's a few seats being ripped out and stuff like that. And it really is pathetic, going to a football match for that purpose. Go and do it somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? We don't need it. We don't want it inside Villa Park.
I'm going to ask a question here that's probably going to show up my lack of, I don't know, aggression or whatever, but I think that's a good thing. How easy is it to rip a seat out? What do you have to do? They kick them. It's solid, aren't they? What are they doing?
Wrong man, mate. Probably Townley's probably the one to ask you those big guns of his.
If you said to me, get so angry you're going to rip your season ticket seat out and chuck it at an opposition manager or something, I don't think I'd even be able to do it.
Listen, I'm not sure we set off with this podcast of being how to rip a seat out, but my best way of removing a seat is probably just sitting on it, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, listen, it was ridiculous. It was nonsense. And I don't know. I don't know. Do they? I don't really want to talk about it much more. But have they got much of a reputation for it?
Well, I saw a couple of people on social media saying that when they went to Switzerland, is it Bern? Was it? I think for the Champions League fixture last year, it was like they couldn't. Whoever said this said they couldn't imagine their fan base being like that because it's this kind of fairy tale, quaint little town. How can those people be there? Like, look how lovely it is. So I don't know. Yeah, back to the Wankdorf you go, you bunch of pathetic fans, says Jay Steeler there in the comments. Just a quick one. Jay Collett says, does Matt remember when Clive Allen started a riot at Loftus Road after celebrating in front of the away? Is this a Villa thing? Clive Allen? Who's that?
Clive Allen would have been playing for QPR at the time, or went on to play for Tottenham and stuff, but I do not remember that. But in terms of inoffensive, harmless little Donny Marlon, I don't think he did go over to goad them, although it's notable that when he scored the second one, he still ran the same way. He gave himself a little bit more distance. He thought, well, how far can these people throw?
Yeah, he didn't go very far, did he?
More distance, but
little wry smile as well.
Yeah. Did Rodgers get struck with something as well?
I think he was claiming it, but I didn't see it. I don't know. Someone says Clive Allen, who's that? I don't know if they're taking the mick that I don't know who that is, or they also don't know who it is. I'm just Googling it. Clive Allen is a former English professional footballer, QPR, Arsenal, Palace, QPR again, Spurs, Bordeaux. Oh, interesting. Yeah, never heard of him. Don't care. I'm sorry. Patrick said, go to Turkey, lad. Don't shave it off. You'll never, trust me, you'll never see me rock up on this podcast with a hair transplant. It'll be bald or nothing. Anything else from the game specifically? I mean, obviously, there's another goal to go through. You mentioned Daniel's celebration, but nice goals.
Yeah, I thought the second goal was class as well. I thought he really had the kind of bit between his teeth.
Does that point to prove status? You know, I want to be starting against Wolves.
Potentially. I'm probably more inclined to that way of thinking than I've been.
Yeah.
You know, I think on me and John's post match on Monday, I kind of set out 3 scenarios, so I don't want to bore people too much by going over it too much again. But those 3 scenarios was Watkins, you stand by him even if he's not scoring goals because the formula has worked with Watkins being in the team with us winning matches. Actually, I can't remember what the 2 other scenarios were. Watch Monday's episode back. It was something really interesting and profound. Anyway, yeah, carry on.
Was there any part of the him coming off after an hour? Is that also kind of playing to the narrative of saving him because he'll start the game on Sunday, or does Emery kind of feel the game is maybe won here and we need to get Watkins some minutes because he's starting Sunday?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think Emery does sentiment, does he? Because I thought Marlon was bang on to get his hat trick tonight.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah, mate, we've taken you off. So I don't know whether Emery said nah, mate. But whether that was keeping him fresh in mind for Saturday. I mean, it's an interesting one because if we speak in Marlon, we probably need to speak Watkins again.
Yeah.
Obviously, come on, he's had the one opportunity that he's desperate for a goal at the moment, isn't he? You know that if he gets anywhere near that penalty box, he ain't going to pass the ball. He's going to try his luck, and you can just see that frustration building. And he's had one effort that he's hit fairly cleanly, but it's straight down the goalie's neck.
Yeah,
and he's parried it, but he just looked when he kind of went off the pitch at the end. You could just see. You know, everybody else was smiling because it was a win. And I'm not saying Ollie Watkins didn't appreciate the win and isn't a team player. I'm not saying that at all. But you can see that it's weighing on him now.
Yeah.
It's weighing quite heavily. And I think if there is an opportunity to take him out of the firing line for a game, give Marlon 60 minutes against Wolves, see what he can do. I know he's not the same kind of player as Watkins, but I think he's got that real kind of energy and desire and confidence to go and perform. I think now is probably the time to do it. Give him 60 minutes, see what Watkins can do. Hopefully we'll be a couple of goals up. You know, I'm not writing off Wolves, but hopefully we'll be a couple of goals up by then. See what Watkins can do coming off the bench for the last half an hour of a game. I know we had that option tonight, but it's a different, a different kind of thing. What would you do? Would you take him out of the firing line, or would you stay with him a little bit longer?
Well, perfectly honest, I didn't see the Leeds game. I only saw the highlights. So I don't know what the performance from Watkins was like in that. I can't imagine it would have been anything to write home about. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this conversation a few days later either. So I suggest it's more of the same. I don't want to talk too much about it because me and John will be doing the fan zone preview at some point tomorrow, and I know that this will probably be a big talking point. But what I would like to see, I don't know whether we will, is what we saw against Burnley. I want to see Marlon and Watkins together. So I think that's good for Marlon, and he's on form at the moment. And maybe that will kick Watkins into life as well. If we are 2 up, 3-1 up or something, and Marlon's playing well, does that allow Watkins to link with him better and he gets his goal as well? And we win the game. Both forwards have scored. Everybody's happy, and we go again for the weeks ahead in the festive period, and you can kind of balance that. I don't know. I still not. We scored 2 goals today, Marlon, but I'm still not sure about him as the number 9, leading the line and chasing things. But again, it's different levels of opposition. I don't expect anything of Young Boys today at all, but I also don't expect anything of Wolves either. So maybe Marlon could do the same job again against them, because we should be beating Wolves. Again, I don't want to get into it too much, but to not beat them would be catastrophic.
Could you see a scenario? Do you think it'd be worse for Ollie Watkins in terms of a loss of face if Marlon was chosen to spearhead the attack down the middle, and Watkins, reverted to his former days and played off the left or off the right and played in wide area. He was drifting. Wide to get on the ball. But what do you think would be worse for the guy's ego, to be dropped out of the team and left on the bench, or to be moved to one side to accommodate the man who's breathing down his neck?
Yeah, probably still. They still want to play football, don't they? Footballers. So being on the bench in any way, but for whatever reason, is probably still the worst option. But yeah, we said before, and I know a lot of people, and this is absolutely your right to think so, is that he's not a natural goal scorer and he's more like a winger. But then I still think, well, he's scored X amount of goals for us in the Premier League over several years as the striker. So to put him out on the left is almost taking away from Villa's record scorer. You're just going, I'll stick him on the left. Like, he'll do a job out there, and maybe that does revitalise him. But how long has he been here now? Is it 5 seasons? And we've not done that. We've never had a period of sticking him out on the left. He's always been a striker since he's been with us. So it doesn't look great to change that. But if it's not working, and we've tried everything else, playing him into form isn't working either. He does need a goal from somewhere, and the longer it goes on, the more everyone knows it's the narrative. He will know, his teammates will know, everyone will be fully aware that he's not playing well and isn't scoring goals, and that's a problem. And I still, a few weeks ago, I was making bets with the comments of I still think he'll get 20 odd. And I'd like to say I still think he will, because I've got 50 quid on it with somebody. But the longer it goes on, he doesn't score. He's now got to score 20 goals in 30 games or something, as opposed to 40 games. So that task becomes a lot harder. But I do think, or I hope, because we're going to need him, we absolutely still need him, for Villa to go on and do anything. Once he gets that one, will that just be a massive weight off his shoulders, and then he'll get another couple, and we'll start to go, okay, there's the signs that he's back now. If he gets one and then goes without scoring again for another 10 games, then this is just Ollie Watkins and who he is, and he's massively fell off a cliff. He's done the 2025 Leon Bailey.
Yeah, but
that didn't seem possible, did it, for Bailey to drop off in the way he did? For Watkins to go from a guaranteed 15 odd goals to like 2 or 3 would be a massive decline.
Yeah, and this sounds really, really cool, what I'm about to say now, but Leon Bailey dropped off, and we've replaced him with Evan Gesson.
Yeah.
So sometimes be careful what you wish for. I mean, it does seem, this probably sounds quite severe, it does seem like we are witnessing the final, let's say, 18 months of Ollie Watkins. I think there needs to be a succession plan.
Less than that, I'd argue, I think.
Well, yeah, I'm probably being kind there. But I'm hoping he proves us wrong, and he comes and flies again. But so if you'd have Watkins and Marlon as a 2, what would you do behind them then? We're not going to go 4-4-2, are we? Where would your width come from?
Rodgers would be in there, and McGinn would be. If I'm picking an 11, I'm doing the preview here. I'd have Tielemans and Kamara, McGinn, Rodgers as your 2 and your 2. And Marlon and Watkins to kind of run the channels when the one doesn't, to get width that way. And Cash and Matson or Dean have to get forward as well. Or McGinn and Rodgers have to drift wide as well. Those are the personnel I would like to see in the team to go and attack Wolves with forward players and some pace. Because I keep saying it, and I know this can come back to bite us, but you've got to beat them. You can't be having them get their first win of the season against us at Villa Park. As it Molyneux, I'd still be going, oh, they're crap, but there's a chance away from home they're going to do something. At Villa Park, for us to be on a 7-game winning run, to not make that 8, come on.
Yeah, but I think we need to. I think some of the kind of complacency that crept in tonight, and I know it was a shadow team, if you like, rather than the strongest first team, but we need to be really, really clinical and imagine that we're playing a team in much better form than Wolves. Because however poor they are, and I do think they're doomed. I think they're set for relegation, and I think it's followed the pattern, not quite with Villa like 10 years ago or whatever, but it's followed a similar pattern. You can see the decline and the rot setting.
Yeah.
I still think they can cause a nasty surprise if we're not right at it. Anyway, tonight's game.
I think we're pretty much done, to be honest. I said I only wanted to do half an hour because I'm knackered. Is there anything else from the game that we've not spoken about that we should have? Just
the one thing that I wanted to talk about was Sancho a little bit. Not quite to the level of Watkins, but he needs something, doesn't he, to go his way? He needs a goal, really. I think he's had a chance in the first half that got blocked. He's had a shot that was saved by the keeper in the second half, and then Boubacar Kamara has played the loveliest of kind of slide rule passes to him. And I don't know whether he could have taken a touch or whatever, but that to me, and I know the angle it's not an easy angle, but I think he's got to be scoring there. And I think I would like to see Sancho with a smile on his face and with that confidence to see whether that's the thing that kickstarts him. I still don't think he feels like this is his home. I think he feels like he's just passing through. And I think to get that warmth, he needs to kind of start adding to his numbers, really.
I mean, there's a bit of a problem across the board, really, isn't there, in terms of output or form? That Sancho, question marks, Harvey Elliott, shrug for those listening. Everyone Gesson, poor, really. Ollie Watkins, poor at the moment. Marlon looks decent. Tielemans, Rodgers has now kind of turned the corner over the last, 8 to 10 games since Spurs-ish, and before that. Beyond that, though, there's really a kind of lack of impact, maybe, from certain players that you think, if you could, I don't know whether Villa can financially or in terms of rules, if you could just go, right, get rid of Elliott, Sancho and Gesson in January, which I don't think will happen. Let's roll the dice and try something different. I think you would. If this was Football Manager or FIFA, you go, oh, God, that don't work. Try again. Roll it again. There's just problems that... I mean, it's mad. We're second or third in the Europa League, and are we still fourth in the Premier League? I don't know. I think we were the other night. This isn't a problem team. This isn't, we're not 12th or 15th and really struggling. We're still winning games and doing well. So I don't want to be super critical, but we've kind of, I don't know. I don't feel like we're as good this year as we've been under Emery previously. But the league tables that we're in tell us we're as good as we've been before, points wise. So I don't know how we're doing it.
I think that's the frustrating thing, though. If we can thrust ourselves into such a strong position when things still need fine tuning, the margins, if we could actually find that extra level from those people around the edges, then we could really kind of
challenge an Arsenal, wouldn't we? Now, if Watkins was on 8 or 9 goals, and Gesson was better than he is, and Sancho had done a bit, and Harvey Elliott was actually playing, you've got 3 or 4 players there that can really hopefully make a difference. And we've relied on a couple of good free kicks and Matty Cash scoring a couple of goals out of nowhere. McGinn's popped up, and unlikely scorers, I suppose, in previous seasons. And you need that as well. That is important. But you also want to be able to hang your hat on a Watkins or a Rodgers or whoever to get a certain amount of goals every season. And when they're not doing it, that's a worry. But when you're still doing well as a team, that's still a good thing. You just think, well, what if they were on form, we're only a few points behind Arsenal as is, you'd be a serious challenger. So, it's not one to get too downbeat over. You just think I don't want this to be an opportunity missed in any way.
Yeah, we end up being sport brats, don't we? Because you should have asked us 3 months ago. It was like, can we get a goal from somewhere?
Can we have a shot on target?
Yeah. But you kind of dare to. The Harvey Elliott one is still a strange situation. The irony is we're probably getting Liverpool's team at centre back at the moment. But yeah, I mean, if he's not getting 10 minutes tonight, it just adds to the feeling that it's not
going to happen, is it?
He's going to go down as a what might have been footnote in Villa's history, I think. One random thing I wanted to say before we go: I'm driving a courtesy car at the moment because my car's in the garage, and I can't work out. They're all computers now, aren't they? You're an old man like me.
Yeah.
And I've got some dodgy radio station on, and it played. I was just driving back, and "Wannabe" by the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I want. And for some reason, maybe because we won the game, like me and my son and his mates are having a little sing. I'll tell you what you want. And the computer just picks it up, and it must have voice recognition. What is it that you want? You're like, whoa. Well, I really, 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 really want to zig to be honest. But it was just weird. And we were just having this sing song, and it's like, Kit out of Knight Rider. It was like that. Started speaking at me. But so there we go.
Yeah, good. Well, we'll call it a day there. I'll call it a night there. Matt, thanks for joining me on this episode. I just want to flash up for those watching very quickly. There's our YouTube page. Get rid of the comments for a second. Just as a quick shout out for some of the other bits and pieces we've done over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, it was international break prior to Leeds, was it? Yeah. So we did kind of, I don't want to call it filler content because that's not the right vibe, but things that were timeless, right? So if you didn't listen to it back then, it's no longer out of date. So we've got the draft mode there that we built an 11 using all 11 different managers on that thumbnail that you can see. The Q&A of us where Esri Conts was on the thumbnail. Classy Conser, Emery's Christmas tree, and shout out to Gary's xylophone was a Q&A that was kind of not match related at all. So if you didn't watch that at the time, that will still be relevant now, 10, 12 days on. Dean Saunders' interview, I was a little bit worried when that was first posted that it wasn't going to do great numbers. It's on 9.5k on YouTube. It's done really well since I've been away.
It's a slow burner, mate. Don't underestimate people wanting to hear me sing as a 1990s Holten hero. Just on the Saunders thing, I've got a shout out actually. A fellow who sits in, he never spoke to me before, but he's a lovely bloke. His brother spoke to me before. He turned around today and said, "Oh, I love the Dean Saunders interview, Matt. When are you gonna get Big Ron on?" And I said, "Well, actually,
oh, nice.
Actually, Steve." If you have a little scroll back through the archives, you'll see the Big Ron one. I don't know, that must be about 18 months ago now.
Yeah, more, I think.
But yeah, so a shout out to, I've written it down somewhere, Steve, Rob, and Andy, who were three brothers. They sit in the row in front of me, but they're not part of the pesky Go for a Wee Too Much brigade.
Well, that's another episode you need to listen to. We did 9 things that we love about Villa / kind of modern football in general, and 9 things we hate as well. So if you've missed any of our content over the international break, do go back and catch up with some of those because they are timeless. If you need half an hour to kill at any point this week in the lead up to Wolves, we're back for the post match, aren't we? Sunday? Is it Sunday?
We are.
Yeah,
I will see you there.
Yeah, post-match Sunday evening at some point. Me and John Townley will be doing a chat tomorrow for the fan zone. So if you want to scroll down in the YouTube description or the podcast description on Spotify, etc., there's a link that says Claret and Blue mailbag. If you want to leave an opinion, a predictions, your thoughts about the Wolves game, we'll read some of those out. And if you can leave your names as well, that'd be handy. If you've watched the very end of this episode, Matt, do you want to suggest a word for those in the comments to fire so we know that they really stay till the end?
Can I have 2 words?
Yeah.
Actually, can I have 4 words?
Go on then.
Up the meal deal.
Up the meal deal. If you watched or listened to the end of this episode, leave a comment. Up the meal deal, and we'll know that you're a true Mat Kendrick fan. Go on.
Are you going to play us out with my advert?
Yeah, I can do. Yeah, I can do. Thank you to our sponsors, NordVPN. We didn't do our NordVPN MVP VPN man of the match. And we're also sponsored by FPro throughout November. So if you want 20% off their products, there's a link in the description down below. And you might be thinking, what's FPro? Well, it's a handy little tool for kids or big adults to improve their football skills, which may be necessary for us and our friends for the Christmas quiz that we're filming soon as well. Ooh, little tease. We'll see you soon, everyone. Thanks for watching or listening to this episode of the Claret and Blue podcast. Play the VT.